What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy, Next Gen 720. And I'm back with another video. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Actually, I'm trying to see my screen now. So if you're saying what's the deal, YouTube? Oh, it's your boy, Next Gen 720. There I go. What's going on, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the chat. As you guys come in, be so kind. We have a quick conversation. We're not going to be here. Obviously, we're not going to be here too long, right? But that's not my intention. Whenever, because I just agree. I'm not gonna say who I just got finished talking to. They shall remain nameless at this time, right? Someone to know if I'm done touching their grandmother. I don't know. You tell me. But check it out though. I got something for you, good brother. I got exactly what you need. Let me see. I know what you want. You want this. Bam! Send his ass to the upside down room. But anyway, what room am I, man? I'm sorry. Here I come. Give me a second. I'm coming back to the chat. Close that box. All right. I gotta find the live stream again. I'm coming. Give me a second. I'm coming. I guess the damn window's open. Give me a second. I'm coming. Where the hell's my live stream? Oh, here we go. Found it. Got it. Now again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate it for you swinging by. Hold up. Anyway, so I was talking to someone that you all know and love. I guess you would say he's a part of the industry. You can say he's a part of the industry, more or less. More on the Microsoft side of things. And of course, like everybody's talking next gen's pony and all this stuff, but that's neither here nor there, right? And we were having a conversation. Now I joined when they were having a conversation. And believe it or not, the topic of that said conversation was me. Right? What's going on, guys? We were talking, right? It's just go bugging out, you know what I mean? And you see the title of this video, you know, I named it "How Will Microsoft Respond to Ps4 or Sony 7 hitters this year, and maybe even to 2019?" Because it can be maybe arguably said that their 2019 maybe better than the 2018. We got Days Gone and heavily rumored The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I mean? Something else. But anyway, how will Microsoft respond? I know some people are going to say, wait, the E3. E3 is coming. That's a given. But what will they do? I was told maybe, say crap. I'll give crap. Crap's never. Crap was one of these right. Crap is never right. But I give crap credit for this, right? And I remember me saying that when I started the whole thing, what would you like to see? The Coalition or 343 make outside of Gears and Halo, right? We all remember that conversation there, right? And then I remember it was doing one BGST. Now, and I said to him, I was like, they took 10 people from, Naughty Dog to 10 people, I'm sorry, for the Uncharted 3 team and started them on The Last of Us 2. And he said, well, you know what? That's Naughty Dog, or you like basically saying like that's Naughty Dog, like they did more or less. That's what he was like. I'm paraphrasing here. Then I got to thinking, like I said, maybe Microsoft developers are maybe not as talented. Hear me out. Look where I'm going with this, right? Maybe they're not as talented. And then I gotta give my man, what you call him? Like, I'm sorry, I forgot about you. No, I forgot just that quick. No, sorry. And again, what made I guess the 360 so popular, like I said, outside of because even Gears was second party. Check it out, right? Of them giving us the Halo or the Fable, because back then Microsoft was Halo, Fable, and the Forza. What was the Project Gotham then? And between to fill those voids, those gaps between those games releasing, they would have great second party deals, whether the Ninja Gaidens and Dead or Alive, Dead Rising, Armored Core, Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, you know, shit, even Mass Effect back then. They had those great second party deals. So maybe took the spotlight off of their first party studios. I want to say maybe not being as talented. And even like I said, hear me out. Because it's like, you know, because how you say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Those are you can't discredit Microsoft. Those are billion-dollar franchises. Halo, should even Forza, where they own Gears now. You know what I mean? Billion-dollar franchises, and Sony has what, if I'm not mistaken, if I am wrong, I will stand corrected. I believe it's Gran Turismo. You know, it's like just because something sells more doesn't actually mean it's better. And hear me out, right? So they were talking like, what can Microsoft do? Or what would they do to counter that? You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie, the conversation I just left as being, you know, forget Xbox guy and all that bleed green, being a gamer, it was kind of disheartening to me. You know, I kind of felt a little let down. Yeah, no.
Yo, what's up, bro?
What's going on, Noah? Give me one second. I'll let you know. I mean, everybody just know I'm part of the Broadband Bullies. Some new talent. We got a bunch of us, right? Like the gang, like the police. But anyway, you know, was kind of disheartening. And I've also said this too about Microsoft, that what their strengths to me is been their weakness. And what I mean by that is that they're so good and, like I say, great at business and at making a dollar. You know, as far as, like I said, as far as when it comes down to competing, you know, I don't really think it's about a first, second, or third with them. They want to make the most money, period. You know what I mean? And kudos to them with that. You know what I mean? So if you get all the plaques and stuff, we want to make the most money. And by that, what I mean by that is having their services or even their technology on every platform. Somebody else sent me some, I'm not going to say his name. I'll leave him out of this. But another guy within the industry, maybe you want to say on the Microsoft side of thing, he sent me something. And I was looking at the things that Microsoft owned within the gaming industry, period. You know, the thing, I forgot the name of the program, what they use to actually make the games. And like Microsoft owns so much shit that you'll never hear about, but that's neither here or there. You know, so maybe that may be the way they them just could say, hey, taking over gaming. And then the conversation came about Game Pass. And you know, and you shout out to Randolph too. I should have reached out to him today too. See if he wanted to rock so quick. But anyway, about, you know, Game Pass and maybe possibly being on other platforms outside of the Xbox ecosystem. You know what I mean? Having here's the catch: having Xbox Live on every platform. You know, maybe taking over the, I don't know what the hell Nintendo's doing with the Nintendo Network, but whatever the case may be, right? Having that on every said platform. You know what I mean? Because I know if I'm not mistaken, the Switch is getting Minecraft and they're gonna do crossplay with Xbox guys. I don't even know how, what you know what I mean? But maybe, like I said, maybe that may just be their end game. And then when you come back and you look at the titles like SpiderMan, you look at SpiderMan, what else you have come out this year? God of War, and where those games are traditionally like lined up. I'm not gonna say that, you know, single player games are dead, but normally, like I said, most time when somebody beats them, you know, that's just about it. And unless they come out some DLC, you might go back to buy. Horizon Zero Dawn was a phenom. You know what I mean? Came out something new, something fresh, came out and sold 8 million copies. You know what I mean? But like I said, those games like that are few and far between. You know, I left away from that conversation. I should say, I don't think that they will. That they're content, you know, and not. I'm not going to. I've been shitting on Sea of Thieves for the last week. I'm gonna give you Sea of Thieves fanboys a break. You know what I mean? They're gonna give you, like I said, those type of games, and I guess the way you're saying, if they can snatch up a second party deal here and there, they will. I'm like, man, you know what I mean? As me, and again, I understand. Maybe I'm what you call the how you say, the small piece of the pie. You say the diehards, the zealots. You know, I'm very, very small, and it's the casuals again. They're 10-1. The ones that just go out there, they may buy 1 or 2 exclusives the whole generation, but every year they're gonna get their Maddens, their 2Ks, their Grand Theft Autos. You understand where I'm going with this? Or their duties. But like I said, I walked away from that conversation. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do a video. I'm just going to go live right quick. And I wasn't, like I said, I don't know. But what's going on, Noah?
What's up, bro? What's up, man?
Wait. Why do I hear you coming through my? Hold on 1 second, bro. Let me put you through my headphones. I don't know why you're coming through there. Hold on 1 second. Don't say nothing again. Now, close your mouth. I got to change it. Okay. All right. Now I got you. Talk.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, you good. What's up?
Sound good? Sound clear?
Yeah, you sound good. You sound good.
Hey, let me start off by saying, fuck T Reaper.
Oh man,
fuck his YouTube channel.
Hey, is a record label
internet provider.
All right, for sure.
I got that out.
All right.
But yeah, man, what's up, man?
Hey, hold on. Let me say one thing. I can see my chat now. Shout out to each and everybody in this chat. My man Kirk the Rooster from Facebook, 6996. My man, of course, the finest. Shout out to you, man. Also a Patreon supporter. I appreciate it, good brother. And a sponsor of my channel. I appreciate it. And everybody else out there. My Def Jam Bam. I can see my chat now. Shout out to all you guys. Oh, somebody said Ed. What's my man's name? Some hot talk. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna get the biggest knife in the drawer. We're gonna cut the bullshit out. Now talking. No, what you say? And my man Spooky too. My man Spooky Buzz. I know you're straight troll, but he also sponsored the channel. I got some thumbnails or some art coming from you guys too. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry. Hey, hold on. Hey, Spooky Buster. I don't think they want to play us. I think Jimmy B Gaming pulled another one. CEO clerk. But anyway, Hey, Mike, hey, Moss, if you want to hop in here, let me know, bro. Let me know if you want to hop in here.
Yeah, bring Moss ass in here, man.
I see y'all going back and forth, but talk to me.
Oh man, so I don't know, man. I've been doing some thinking, man, and I remember when you reached out to Phil and you let them know we needed some mature games over here on Xbox.
Okay,
some more. I say more gritty games. I think we got mature games, but I know what you mean. Though we need more gritty type games.
What games is set like in a realistic,
Yeah, like more grit, more cinematic. You know what I'm saying? Something for the adults. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, man, but basically, what game? We're not saying because they get confused when I say this. I'm not saying games they got to go copy God of War, which I would love, but those graphics like that on our exclusives, and but like I said, the last 17, which more or less our exclusives, have the Recore or the Sea of Thieves look.
Yeah, and like it's nothing against those type of games. So those, what I'm saying, I love Sea of Thieves. You know what I'm saying? I'll be playing Sea of Thieves to the death, but we do need that mature art style type of game. And I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm excited for Detroit Become Human. I got God of War pre-ordered, and I'm here on my Xbox, man. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm going through the list of 620 games, and we really don't have any Xbox exclusive titles that play anything like that or can compete. And when you think about Xbox as a brand, right? So you want your system, you want everybody to be able to come to your system and have the full experience, right? But we don't even have VR games right now. Like we have to go out and buy a PlayStation and a PlayStation VR to experience VR. Why can't we experience VR on this console? These consoles released at the same time. So I mean, these are valid concerns, a valid question. But I mean, people are gonna get mad.
Let me pay the bill very quick. I have something to ask. My man, shout out to my man Outlaw 2120 said PS4 the king of single player games. Yeah, and listen, to answer that, right? That's Sony's and it has always been their thing. Story driven cinematic, games that pull at your heartstrings, whether you like them or not. And Sony has always leaned back on third party, whether the duties or the battlefields to handle the multiplayer thing for them. You know what I mean? Sony, like I said, they tried. They had a few multiplayer. What was that goddamn game? That's what I call Space Hulk, with the plane that came out more or less at launch. What's the name of that damn game? I had it. Warhawk, the kill zones. What's that? Haze or Mag and all that. They mean, they even like how they ruined SoCal. My God. They tried. He said they get their. I want to say Halo, but they're a big multiplayer game. You know what I mean, for our shooter wise and stuff. But their thing, and again, it's a credit to them. they make great single player game, which I do like. I do like and I do love. You know what I mean? My man Xavier Bay, let me in this combo. See, hey, all right, hold on. I'm sending you the link right now, good brother. Let me get some of the bullies in here. Yeah.
But the thing about it too, man, and I think Porter Rock touched on this too. A lot of the multiplats, you know what I'm saying? They've really taken a page out of Microsoft playbook. And a lot of these games have great multiplayer experiences already. So what Sony's lacking in as far as multiplayer, you get that from third party. But you know, besides like what Rise of the Tomb Raider, there's really no single player experience or Quantum Break and Rise of the Tomb Raider, right? And we'll throw Rise in there. But other than that, there's really no cinematic experience on Xbox, not like you get on Sony on the PlayStation.
I'm sorry. You know what? Like I said, without saying too much, you know, I ain't gonna be messy about the conversation I was just having. What they were having that I so happened to join. You know what I mean? And you know, we and people were always, you know, saying, you know, that well, not, you know, they're saying that the moves that Microsoft is making now, we're not going to really see that the impact of that until next generation, right? Which may be true, right? But all he said, hindsight is 2020, and you're looking at such as myself and someone that's been, and again, you know, as far as because I'm gonna get it anyway, you know what I mean? It's such as if you're a diehard gamer, like I said, whether you like Xbox more than PlayStation, vice versa, I always think you should have both. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person. If something comes out that I want to play, I don't want to miss it. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like that's just me. To have, you know, to have everything. But now with that being said, though, you know what I mean? It kind of sucks at the end of the day, you know. And the reason why I say that it sucks is because when you and maybe it's unfair to them for being who they are and being, let's say, Microsoft being this, how you say, the behemoth. When you think about Microsoft, you think about trillions of dollars, right? And I ain't gonna lie, today, me, like leaving this conversation, put everything in perspective for me. And he said to me, he said, you know, Zaire, you're looking at it as the Xbox platform itself being Microsoft. So, well, you see, no, I don't know this. I know it's the entities or not. Because, and again, maybe this is why they get judged. And that, like I also said too here on this channel numerous times, that I didn't understand how you have Sony with a fraction of the resources that Microsoft has. You know what I mean? And they're able to, again, we all know the stories of then Sony was out there selling curtain rods to stay in business. Fax machines, cable remotes, you name it, they was doing it. And out there, out hustling them, theme consoles, you know, third-party deals, and now they're delivering on the exclusive format. I mean, front. Shout out to my man Michael Washington. I think the long-term Microsoft will be okay, but for right now, no Ps4 has them bangers, but I believe the Xbox will have great showing this year. I listen. I hope so, bro. I hope so. I really I hope so. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So even if I don't know, because I guess I also mentioned too on the show. Even if like you in here, Dragon?
No, that's hey, I don't know, Z, because the way Phil responded to you a couple months ago.
Well, that was like a few minutes. Yeah, kind of
nervous.
Like, oh yeah. I understand. I trust me. I listen. But you know what's also gonna say this too. What people are like a trip. Let me finish this. What I'm gonna say before I even get to that. I mean, like I just awakened. I've been saying for the last 2.5 years. You know what I mean? And you know, like maybe the theatrics that get caught up in, but this is not nothing new that I've been saying. Next generation, right? And goes. I understand. Like I said, we got what's called mid-gen refreshes. Most likely 2020, no later than 2021. I'm sorry. We're gonna have new hardware, right? A given. And Microsoft can't afford to, like I said, let Sony get the head, you know, start on them. You know what I mean? And starting off next generation, they're going to be there. They got to be there. You know what I mean? With their, how you say, their big guns.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
What's going on? Dragon. They got to be there with their big guns. You know what I mean? And if they do that, in all fair, I mean, all will be forgiven. You know what I mean? They're there with the, how you said, the games. It's all about games. You know what I mean? And how I am, like I said, look, I said Microsoft burnt me last generation, but best believe they did with my Gears 5 and whatever else, some other what's that got in game they was making, Shanghai, with all some new shit, and it looks pretty, looks great. All is forgiven, you know what I mean? And They got it. Like I said, keep up with the moment. Like I said, Dragon Boy, what's going on, good brother? You gotta get your mic.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Your mic. Let me see something again. Your mic was popping. You right now?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all right now. When you see the title of the show, is there something you want to add to this or take away from this, or do you say how will they respond?
Well, here's the thing. Just like I told Noah on the chat, do Microsoft really need to respond to Sony? I mean, people don't understand that, you got to ask the question. Nintendo's been around for years, and they've never once had to answer Sony, not one time. You know what I mean? So it's like, why is it that, Microsoft, in all honesty, needs to have their own identity again? They can't be Sony wannabe, because Sony already does that. They already cater to the hardcore single player. You know what I mean?
I got a rebuttal to that though. I mean,
hold on. Let me lay it all the way out.
Wait, hold on. One second.
And then you can I serve it like a buffet.
Hold on 1 second. Let me grab me a bottle of water, nigga. Dude, we about to get on your ass. Hold on 1 second. Don't drop my door. Give me 1 second. Let me grab me a bottle of water. Hold on. There's about to go down. Hold on.
Hey, Z must had to run to the store get that bottle of water.
I know, right?
Yeah, come. It's about to go down. Hey, my man Dragon Morning came in and put the D in damage control. Hold on, good brother. Hold on. I'm coming back to the mic right now. Man. My man Dragon Moore hopped in here something like Samuel Jackson and Django. Hold on 1 second. It's about to go down. All right,
that on that nag.
Who that nigga on that nag? Listen, let nigga do tell. Now what happened now? They ain't got to do what? Talk to me. You there?
You good? Hey, woman. So
yeah, like I said,
bro. Okay, let's finish. I gotta hit this. I gotta hit this in entirety. So what happened?
So like I was saying before. Mm-hmm. Nintendo's been around. They've actually seen other consoles come and go. Didn't once have to answer any of those other consoles, right? Sony comes along, Nintendo still doesn't answer Sony. Nintendo is still here, and they're still doing good. Microsoft shows up. The first mistake was that they showed up as an answer to Sony. They shouldn't have never done that, because now instead of them being their own console, their own company, they're now Sony's competition. People don't even really refer to them as really the Xbox like that anymore. If I say Xbox, the first thing you guys are going to tell me, oh, they like Sony. So now I hear you, friend, for the past 2 months. Mm-hmm. Why don't we get games like Sony has?
Okay.
No, we don't need games like Sony has. We just need for Xbox to produce better Xbox games. That should have been the narrative this whole time. Not, why can't we get a God of War? Fuck God of War. Okay? PlayStation has God of War because, in all honesty, let's just be honest, some of those guys suffer from schizophrenia. They have mental illnesses, and that's why they play these psychotic, blood-twisted ass games. Games are supposed to be fun. But when it gets to the point to where your fun involves sticking a knife in a nigga's ass, come on, man.
Wait, hold. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen. I listen. This is my brother. He's a broadband bully. I'm ashamed to say. My God, this shit about to go left. Hey, nigga, do tell. Wait, hold the phone. Now you said that the reason why Sony guys are out there making these games because they're battling schizophrenia.
Hell yeah! I mean, you could tell. Since the PlayStation 4 has been out since what was it, 2013? What have we been hearing? Dude in Walmart humping the PlayStation 4. Why? Why do you do that? Why do you go around flashing people your genitalia to get a PlayStation? Why? Why is that necessary?
Now,
right?
It's 80 million crazy niggas out there then.
Wait, hold on, let me pay
the bills. Well, of course. Oh, dude, hey, no, it's more than that.
Wait, hold on, let me pay the bills right quick. Shout out to my brother Gray's take. I still maintain that this gen Sony has failed to bring their AAA. But Microsoft, all they bought is Uncharted. It's amazing how people are giving them the win for late games. I mean, I look at it like this, and shout out to my man Gray's take, and you guys can answer it, whatever. I say better late than never. And just given Sony's track record,
I agree.
Given Sony's track record, they've always um released their games more or less towards the back end part and kind of lean. And even with the PS2 and PS1, that they had great, how you said, second party deal, because the multiplats we have now were exclusives back then. So that again covered the gap of them releasing their own games and software. You know what I mean? So like I said, better, like I said, late than never. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but you want to say something to him or?
Yeah. Man. So Nintendo. So you brought up the point about Nintendo. Nintendo is not a direct competitor of Sony or Microsoft.
Why not?
They target a different audience, and then plus their console is looked as like a companion console. They're not in direct competition. They have their own batch of exclusives you can't get anywhere else. When you look at Microsoft and when you look at Xbox and PlayStation, you have to compare them like McDonald's and Burger King. You know what I mean? Like if Burger King started adding new stuff to their menu, salads and milkshakes, and McDonald's just continue selling burgers, Burger King is gonna look like the better selection. Does that make sense?
You know what though? Maybe you can understand like this. First, let me pay the bills. Hold on. Now listen, I listen. It's about to be messy now. My man, shout out to my brother Charles Quinn. Hold on, I just lost you. $2. Pronounce his last name right? Charles Quinton. All right, there you go. He told me $2 to cut my man Cup Dragon Morris Michael for that comment. My man, Classic Love, good brother, Classic Love. He said, cut this dude, Michael. This dude said that. But listen here, maybe you can understand like this, Dragon, that both Microsoft and Sony, the reason why they have to compete, because the competition breeds essence, still sharpens steel, yeah, right? Is right. That they go after the more of the same demographic, age-wise. You know what I mean? Same demographic. Where here's with Nintendo, but even the art style that they do and policies and stuff, they're more geared to the younger demographic. Your first consoles, the 9 times 10, a Nintendo platform, and some people still stay and with that, and so like me, I always got a saying that I've grown up with Nintendo, but Nintendo hasn't grown up with me. Those games, even the art style, just doesn't appeal to me. You know what I mean? And I must admit, doesn't mean I'm suffering from mental illness. I like cutting the Joker head off. But again, shall I digress? Hey, Mighty Moss.
Yeah, am I botting? Can y'all hear me, man?
Okay,
yeah, we can hear you.
You at work? You home?
Yeah, I'm home, man. I was out getting drunk, trying to get me some fat broads, and then I heard Noah talking shit. I was like, no, I got to get on this, man.
Hold on. My man, the Raven Flow for the $2 too. He said, Nintendo is a direct competitor. They avoid Sony. But listen, shout out to my man. What's that? Iwata that passed away. He even said that Nintendo doesn't do a great job at competing. They actually do horrible at competing. But that's neither here nor there. But
they are a competitor nonetheless, good or bad.
All of them. But I like I said, I want you to answer what you were saying, that Microsoft doesn't need to answer or to Sony, but they have to. I mean, because again, it's competition. You know what I mean? Could you imagine if? Let me say this one thing. Could you imagine if Sony didn't patent PSN after Xbox Live, and it didn't evolve? You know what I mean? It's not like they have to go out to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? You say, we can't say, we're just gonna let Microsoft have Xbox Live. We ain't gonna do something else. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, but same thing. Party chat, achievements, voice chat online. You know what I mean? Imagine if they didn't evolve that and left it as bare minimum because they didn't compete as far as like online gaming. You know what I mean? It's not. I mean, it's the exclusive.
It's a different argument, though, Z.
No, I'm just saying.
Sony has to respond to Microsoft because Microsoft is always the one taking the step forward. They took the step forward on putting Ethernet on the console. They took that step forward.
So you look at it from a retrospect, man. They've already answered back.
No. What I'm saying is I'm following a trend. When you follow the trend is 20 years. It's been the same. Sony does not step out on nothing.
We're talking about today, right?
Right.
So okay, McDonald's. Let's
go ahead.
From a business standpoint, right? So you run a McDonald's, you run this corporation, and next door you see Burger King. All you selling is burgers, right? But next door they got chicken sandwiches, they got milkshakes, they got fries, they got everything, and all your customers start going to Burger King. Are you not going to change your menu? Or are you going to continue to sell burgers?
Okay, well then I would say, hold on, let me answer that because right off the back, Noah, you are a Southerner, sir. So you are familiar with a very famous franchise known as Chick Motherfucking Filet, who does not sell burgers and have not sold them since their inception in 1953. And guess what? They are still the #2 franchise with just chicken sandwiches, bro. Woo! Come on, man. I need you to do better than that, bro.
Hold on. Let's talk to my man, the Bang House. He says Sony has been successful since 1994. PlayStation has beaten Nintendo twice. So yes, Nintendo has changed because of Sony. Microsoft once said that it came to stop Sony's monopoly, and that's adds on to what the Raven Flow said. Microsoft what's it? No, he said no. Microsoft no, they can't beat Sony, but he basically said something. Microsoft is in the industry because of Sony, which is they looked back and saw this billion-dollar industry, and and again back then Sony was running wild. But like I said, the guy put here, well, we said what Microsoft did first and stepped up as far as the internet port on the console. If I'm not mistaken, the Saturn and the Dreamcast that did also. You know what I mean?
Well, then I'm gonna teach you a little gaming history here, Z.
Mm-hmm.
After the Dreamcast bogged down, Sony of America actually sold the Sega of America sold the hardware division to Microsoft. That's where we get the Xbox. The Xbox was supposed to have been the Dreamcast too, but then Sega decided to say, you know what, the hell with it. Okay, where's the evidence in that? No problem. If you look at the Dreamcast, you have a Dreamcast, I'm assuming, right there on your cabinet. If you turn around and you look,
they work together.
No. It was more than that. It was more than that. Think about it. When the Xbox came out, 99% of Sega's exclusives.
Yeah, I know.
Went,
they
had come on.
Here's the thing. Listen, when started their relationship, Microsoft, I believe that the OS was on the Saturn or either on the Dreamcast. That's what started.
It was on the Dreamcast.
That's what started their relationship. I believe it was on something too on the Saturn. That started their relationship, and then what happened with Sega, they with hardware after hardware kind of broke their pockets. But that's neither here nor there. Hold on, Bala, shout out to you. He said it's not like Microsoft is making quality cartoony games. They're making trash ass cartoony games. Microsoft hadn't put a critically acclaimed game out since 2016. And good point. I can get with that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But back to what you're saying about Chick-fil-A.
Let me hop in here real quick. Let me hop in here. Okay.
No. back to what you were saying about Chick-fil-A, right? Bro, we're talking about two burger joints. Sony and Microsoft are known for the hardcore gamers. This is top of the line console, bro. These two compete against each other. So what you're saying is Microsoft needs to become a Taco Bell or a Chick-fil-A, just not specialize in what they've been specializing for years? Is that the direction of Microsoft?
Here's the thing, and I'll answer your question like this. Okay. Microsoft is already looking to the future. Microsoft is already looking to change the way A, how we play games, B, how we get our games, and C, where we play our games.
But it's benefiting Sony. How is this benefiting?
How is that benefiting Sony? Sony is always the last man off the boat right before it sinks.
Sony is sitting at
they're always barely getting off
sales.
Now that's incorrect, sir. That's incorrect, sir. They are not at no damn 80 million. The math just doesn't show that. They're close, but the math doesn't show that.
When you compete, you try to figure out what your opponent is doing correct, and you mimic it or do it better.
That's why Sony has always been in the passenger seat and not in the driver's seat. Sony can't tell us nothing that they themselves have innovated or brought to the table. But the only reason why hold on a second. You want me to answer your question? The only reason why you want us to follow, to do what Sony is doing. Sony has always been the wait and see people. What I used to call them the one trick pony, right? Because they only at one.
Microsoft's playbook from the 360. Everything that Sony
exactly. When is Sony going to do their own shit?
No. So when is Microsoft going to respond back with the aggressiveness?
They don't need to.
Hold that. I got a question. I got to pay the bills. Wait. Let's scroll down. It was a whole bunch. I was on the phone. My daughter just called me. Wait, hold on. Let me pay the bills. Okay. Let me scroll. The Ravenful. The Dreamcast came out in the same gen as the original Xbox. Good point. Classic love. Nintendo is evolution, and the rest will follow suit. My man, Sony has been successful with. Okay, no, and T Reaper, shout out to T Reaper.
Hey man, don't even read his shit, man. Just take his $50.
No, hold up. What I did to PS4 was for pure entertainment. I do it again. Get on my addiction level, bullies. All right. We ain't pissing on nothing, brother. We ain't trying to go to jail. Actually, it's a law to be showing bodily fluids like that in the public. The Raven Floor said Sony has always been the driver. Stop it.
Where did they drive us to?
No. Sony has not always been the driver. Not last.
Sony has never been the driver. Ever.
Sony almost.
They've always been a passenger.
3 in the beginning. In the beginning, Xbox 360 was killing it in sales. No, the developers didn't know how to develop games for it. They actually had to send people to developers and teach them how to program for the PlayStation 3. And now they did catch up. Now this gen, they've taken a lot of plays from 360. But what you're saying, Zay, is Microsoft shouldn't go back to what they were doing and what was successful in the 360 era, even though it was working for Sony. But they need to go do something else. That's what it sounds like. That's the point.
Also, the Ravenflow, good point, said Microsoft rushed the 360 because they couldn't beat Sony. But I'm sorry.
That was a good move, though. I mean, and it worked. They were the first to the market, and you can't knock what works. I mean, if they released their console first, and it caused a headache for Sony. I mean, Sony eventually caught up at the end of the generation. Hey, you got to give kudos to Microsoft.
I mean, what Mighty Moss got to say, Moss.
All right.
I see your mic back there.
Yeah, I know, man. It's going crazy here. Hey, look, I think we're asking the wrong question. Okay. Follow Dr. Spreadsheets here. The right question is, where did Microsoft go wrong? Because we're talking back and forth. Xavier Bay and Noah's talking about burgers and shakes and all that shit. Look, here's the deal. When games like Uncharted, which were critically acclaimed, came out, did we care about them? Were the sales originally that high for games like Uncharted? No, because Microsoft was putting out those sci-fi, gameplay-oriented games that were defining the genre. So the question is, where did Microsoft go wrong? This generation, they tried to do some second-party collaborations, but it wasn't genre-defining. Games like Rise, even games like Quantum Break, they're good, but they're not genre-defining.
Good point.
In comes the new regime. Now, the new regime, I'm letting y'all know right now, if y'all are waiting for something spectacular, hardcore AAA-wise, the answer is no.
That's kind of what I got from the conversation today, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The CEO, Satya Nadella, I've been telling y'all need to get these doses. I've been telling y'all, Satya Nadella back in 2014, when he got all that flack about him not showing love to Xbox, he said that he didn't think Xbox as the core of their business. What does Phil Spencer do? He wants to convince Satya Nadella that it is the core. Now, what does Satya Nadella consider the core of the Microsoft business? Cloud-based and mobile applications.
Exactly.
He's turning Microsoft or Xbox into a cloud-based mobile application software.
So hold on one second. Hold on one second. My man, to prove point. Hold on. The Ravenflow, he said. Wait, he dropping shit quick. Microsoft kept the 360 out 8 years. Sony had 7. All right, hold on. Let's make the TV in the back. Von Lamont said. He said that about them following Sony. What format did Nintendo and Microsoft use as far as the priority just for the games? Von Lamont, he says here, what? Hold on, let me make this a little bigger. Hold up, I can see this shit. This shit just froze. My screen just froze down. What reason would Sony have to follow the Game Pass route? Their games are selling, and Nintendo games are selling. It seems like Microsoft the only problem won't have a problem selling their exclusives.
Let me.
Last one. Sony did lead the industry in to disc-based gaming. You're absolutely right. That was their thing with the far as the CDs and stuff. But the 3DL, but we can more or less mainstream. The PlayStation 1 was like mainstream for its consoles. But anyway, as you were saying.
Okay, and I mean, you guys, Noah and Bay, y'all both are right and wrong to where Microsoft, as far as like technological stuff, the last few gens, they may have had more things that they've innovated, but we can't say Sony didn't do nothing because we wouldn't be having these games for gold if it wasn't for Sony. So we got to keep been killed, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. The companies
I'll do it like I'll do it like this. Sony has innovated nothing, giving us free games, free old games.
I mean, we're looking at
nothing,
holistically.
bro.
Sony brought us. Sony was the first
reward,
console
so
that played CDs.
I'm talking new experiences, something to draw people to the system. People don't care about discs, bro. They care about what's on the disc.
I'm pro Xbox, but man,
Nintendo still kept that shit on cartridges.
Sony was like the first console to have a CD-based console with a GPU, an easy to program GPU for developers.
Yeah, I mean, this is
consoles prior to that. It was damn near impossible or difficult as hell to program games. Man, the PlayStation was like, it paved the way. That's why it had so many games, like so many games on the PlayStation. Not because it was Sony, but because it was easy to develop for, and the CD held so much space. I mean, that's innovation in itself, right there.
Oh, trying to get my man the Ravenful, which brings up a good point. Well, let this to the conversation that we had. It says Microsoft doesn't have a good first party. Halo was bought, and he also said something else here. You can't beat what you can't put out. You know, I guess the developers. I guess talking about like as far as talent wise, and you know, Bungie was bought. But, you know, it's business. Gears they bought off Epic. All right. Only thing they probably made from the ground up was I would give them Forza for those that are into simulation races. Turn 10, but you know everything else, like I said, and you know Microsoft opened the checkbook and acquired. But like I said, big bank take little bank. You know, and and listen, we can't leave out Sea of Thieves. We got to give that. You know what I mean? You got the jokers out to Sea of Thieves fans. I don't want no more death threats. Man, Bang House said the entire reason gaming is more mature or no longer called a kid's hobby is because PlayStation. So no, Sony isn't always in the pageantry. They made gaming grow up fast. I you know, maybe with the content, I can give them that. You know, I guess I always said before, like I've grown up.
What did he say again?
He said, you know, the entire reason gaming is more mature or is no longer called a kid's hobby, is because PlayStation, you know, so long as Sony isn't all, you know what I mean, because of PlayStation. So no, Sony isn't always in the pageantry. They made gaming grow up fast. I can maybe accredit that to them, you know. You know, they took it to where you know, as far as basically mainstream with Nintendo still stuck in this, you know, thing here, and the PlayStation when it came out, you know what I mean, and you know, you had games like Resident Evil. Well, that's really mainstream. Like that was like, oh my god, even though you know what I mean, like on that platform, you know, games like you know, Metal Gear or Parasite Eve. I would, you know what I mean, I can give them that. And then even like I said, and they credit to Microsoft, they came in with the online thing, and I always say this too. A lot of people don't realize this, that back in the 6th generation, the Xbox, you know, was kind of as the hardcore console, and the PlayStation was more of the casual thing. You know what I mean? They had all, you know, but on the Xbox, you had like Shenmue, you had all the cult classes, Utagi, Panzer Dragon. You know what I mean? But yeah, what you guys were really saying that, you know, Sony can be credited for making gaming more mature.
Yeah.
No,
I can agree.
Not. I can't accept that. I'm sorry.
Why
Because, well, let's be honest. We had hardcore bloody gaming on what, Sega's Master System and Nintendo. Wasn't it the Sega who brought blood to gaming?
Well,
Sega brought blood to gaming.
Well, they did have the, you know, Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean?
What Sony did is Sony popularized gaming. That
Nintendo did that.
Provided a gaming system in the 80s. There was a stigma. We was the pencil pocket crew. You know what I'm saying? Down with our quarters and shit, slipping circle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And PlayStation made it cool for you to get up and have it showing in your living room before we would have had our consoles in our bedrooms. You know what I'm saying?
I think Resident Evil.
Over exaggeration to say they made it adult. They made it popular. They made it part of pop culture.
Hey, yo, fix it. Unplug your mic and plug it back in. Moss, you come.
Okay.
Or hop in and hop back out. You button off and on. Or your mic. I don't know. And then he put here, Sony is the reason that the industry's grown. They could afford DVD in 2002 with the PS2. Now, listen, I mean, and again, to go back to your comment, Dragon Moore, that Microsoft doesn't need to be like
Microsoft. You saying that Microsoft doesn't need to be like Microsoft?
No, it doesn't be like Sony, you know what I mean, or whatever the case. You know, and but even like I said, you saying that, you know, something's mentally wrong with the developers over there at Sony because a game doesn't have to be fun for kill 'em up, chop chop, shoot 'em up, bang bang.
That's correct. It don't.
But hold on. But let me put in perspective. What Sony is doing is what Microsoft used to do. This is what Microsoft used to be. So you're saying Microsoft doesn't need to be what it used to be. It needs to be like, what would you like to see? What would you like to see at E3?
I mean, just like I said before, I would like to see something totally different, to be honest with you. I want to see a new way to play, a new way to buy my games, and being able to play my games anywhere. You know what I'm saying? That I want to see one of those three things. Let's be honest, we're going to always get the high graphic, shoot 'em up, bang, bang, as, Z would say. But let's be honest, you can only play that at your house in your room under one candlelight in the damn dark. You know what I'm saying? You're scared you might wake your moms up. What I'm talking about is fun gaming games, where, you look forward to playing it. You know what I'm saying? Something that actually does something to you as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I really enjoyed this game. This game was fun. Not like I enjoyed this game. Did you see that nigga head, his brain shoot out his ass? Nah, come on, man.
Hold on. Hey,
like, I don't need that.
Have you ever played God of War? Like, have you played any God of War?
1, 2, 3, 4, and Judgment.
So you mean to tell me that the story, the lore of that game? I mean, not just the gore and chopping the heads off, but just Kratos killing Zeus and Hermes and Hercules. None of that captivated you?
No. My thing is I'm a history person. So honestly, I was captivated by the storyline itself. I could care less if he cut his head off or or shot a blast and knocked him off the cliff. I don't care. The story, it was actually quite riveting, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And the same reason that I like, God of War, also like Halo. Halo has a vast storyline, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, once again, the the whole blood and gore and all that stuff, I get it. That appealed to those of lower IQ, in my opinion.
Oh man!
But those who can appreciate the story, right? The story stays with you, not the gameplay.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me pay the bills. I'm on to nigga do tell. Hold on. PlayStation killed the arcade and threatened the PC. That I do agree with. When consoles became more powerful, maybe we used to deal with bits. And I remember then when they got Tekken and more or less and all those. I would go to the arcade and of course play the fighters. And they started looking just as good as the ones that was in the arcade. I will give you that it kind of home consoles. And then I will say this. I won't say Sony. I will say the invention of Xbox Live. When that made it more modern, that I didn't have to leave my house to play with someone else and we can all do it online. That's is what really killed the arcade scene. You know what I mean?
That's real innovation. It brought change.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm not saying Microsoft was the first one to do it because they weren't, but to make it more mainstream. Can I give you an example? I had the Saturn, I had the Dreamcast, and it was with broadband and the voice online. I could talk that right there too. Like I said, that's honestly what took me because I was a PlayStation guy. That was like, oh shit, I'm done. Like, oh, I can play online. Like that was like something new. Like it was me getting my NES all over again. So I would say, you know what I mean, as far as that. Hold on, I'm sorry. Von Lamont, he said $5 in the chat. He says Xbox don't have an answer for Spider-Man, God of War, The Last of Us. PlayStation gave us a new play which is PlayStation VR. Spider-Man is huge. And to that you say what?
Can I respond to that? Can I respond to that? Because that's why I think Noah wanted to debate me. Okay. So here's the deal. It's well documented and it's known in the Broadband Bully archives. I don't like shit Sony does. All right. So we just gonna get that out of the air.
However, amen, brother. Amen.
I can be subjective though and realize that the weight and the survival of gaming does not lay on my back. There's a lot of people that do like Sony. Okay. So with that being said, it's fine for Sony to have its own piece of the pie carved out with Spider-Man, with God of War, and all other stuff.
They got the whole pie right now.
And what I was saying to Noah is that those games are aesthetically pleasing. You know what I'm saying? I play Sony games. Let's just keep it real. They're not the biggest on challenge. So if you're looking for a challenge, if you're real big on challenge, their first party lineup may not be it for you, but that's okay. People like that. A lot of people like that. What I'm just saying altogether is that Microsoft don't need to look across the street and mimic them and make their God of Xbox. Do what you did that made you famous. Do them second party deals that got you on the map, the genre defining stuff.
Isn't that what I said at the beginning of this podcast, though? That's exactly what I just said, man.
Listen, hey, Drake, you my man. You sound like Jim Jones, like you want to against the side. Hold on, it's just simple. We're gonna make you a soundbite. Hold on, let me pay the bills real quick. And Raven Flow, you're absolutely right. And listen, I no longer bleed green. I just bleed blue. But if you those who don't know, your blood is blue to hit the air. Now, what that being said,
right? First party. I'm sorry, I just had to throw it out there. The chat is they're not doing the math.
Okay, the Raven Flow. What brand is almost at their third console at $100 million? And listen, you can't deny Sony's dominance. And again, and like I said, competition breeds greatness. Still sharpens still. Microsoft made a lot of missteps at the start of this generation. Like, but all their rooms become like, with their messaging. I always got to say, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Old lady can come over and say, Zaire, motherfucker, you got asthma, take the trash. You don't. I ain't going to take shit. I'm going to be in this looking for my pump. But, what I mean? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And Microsoft messaging, even with the always online, which I didn't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? And I can trade my digital games and all that stuff. I wish they more stuck to their guns, but again, that's neither here nor there. And just said, I don't think anybody can deny Sony's dominance when it comes to the console. Even like I said, last generation, of course, especially in the States, the 360 was stomping the shit out of the PS3. But Microsoft once got a little liquidation towards the tail end of the generation, and Sony started releasing their, The Last of Us, Beyond. They started, releasing their big titles. You know what I mean? So, but somebody botting like crazy. Somebody might pop and botting like crazy. But you know what I mean? Okay, all right. Okay, but your babe done turned into a robot for real. So by that admission, there is no.
No, I'm good.
Prevalence. Okay, but I'm glad that you admit and can be and be objective. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I mean, there's no come on. Whether how you say men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. I mean, they've been very aside of the handheld, they got their ass kicked. But as far as the home console space and arena, Sony's and again, to going back to what you're saying, more about Sony, Microsoft doesn't see them as a competitor or doesn't need to compete. Not everybody can afford their own multiple consoles. You can go back and forth about who has the better exclusives, but they all share the same multiplats, right? Which outsell any major exclusive is their identity. This console give the exclusive that gives the console its identity. So not to say that they can't compete or they shouldn't be and do their own thing. Here's my thing, and maybe you can add this. I'm gonna shut the hell up, right? To be successful in business, right? Now I was a businessman, and maybe all my business may not have been the most legal. I'm gonna say that, right? It's been past 7 years. But as business, as your direct competitor, you're supposed to offer everything your competitor is offering and then something else. You understand that? So if we're going to look back and just say, maybe you can understand like this, as far as game-wise, and maybe you see when some of my frustrations may lay, we haven't had a game announcement, a AAA game, in 17 months. You understand what I'm saying? We've had more announcements about tech and about services or whatever outside of gaming. You know what I mean? Like, look what we've had within the last 2 years. We know we're gonna get a Forza every year, but we've had games. I mean, this is not Xbox. This is, like I said, what not make me an Xbox. I'm used to having these big over the top, Michael Bay AAA type games. We've had games like Recore and of course, Brutal Events, and I can go on and on. Disney Rush Zoo. These is what we've had. And whether you like Sony games or not, and it's always going to say this is subjective. They are huge for their fan base. Maybe you may not like the Uncharted. Maybe they might not be for you. Maybe you might not like Horizon Zero Dawn. Maybe you may not like Neo all those other games that have released in, but it was huge for their demographic. We have not gotten that. You know what I mean? Do you understand at least that where I'm coming from? Or, you know, what's
So I'll answer your question like this, and to be honest, you kind of asked the same question multiple times. So I'll just answer it one time. Number one, the problem is with the 360. The 360 cut Sony's customer base in half.
Okay.
From the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3. What does that mean? That means that some of the Xbox 360 fans were also Sony fans. Okay. Right? So now we come to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 generation. What has happened is that during the 360, Microsoft was able to keep that pony at bay, right? With its games. And that's how, you know, Microsoft was able to cut Sony in half, you know, their fan base. Well, I get it. The issue is now that Microsoft is not putting out those games no more, you know, people like you and some of these other former Xbox fans, they can't keep that pony at bay. So now the pony is coming out, and now they're raging, right? So and like I said, I get that. The problem is that Microsoft has said that this whole generation has been very sour for them from start to current day, and I agree. Microsoft should just cut it off and start something new. They should just go ahead and concede and say, hey, you know what, Sony, you can have it. You can have this one. Why? Because we're working on the future right now. Satya Nadella didn't think that Microsoft was the core of didn't think that Xbox was the core of Microsoft business, because it is not. Windows division outsells Microsoft. You know, like what, $1 billion to what is it, like 55 million? Get out of here. Get out of here.
I just spent $500 on the Xbox One X.
Well, you still your Xbox One X is still going to work, though. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to work. But as far as them putting out a home-based console, that's not happening anymore. After this next, whatever this Xbox, hold on a second, Mighty Mouse. After this next Xbox that they drop, it's going to be all virtual from there on out. Why? Because Satya Nadella says, right, that Windows-based services is what kept Microsoft afloat, not their hardware. Okay. The software did.
But you're talking as if, what's his name? Nutella, Nutella?
Satadella.
Come on, psychedelic. Hey, but look, he is a part of Microsoft, man. So I mean, no matter what his intentions or his decision, he is a reflection of the company. So I mean, we can't use him as an excuse.
No, I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is he is the man in charge. So he's the one that lays the final hammer. If he says we're not making any more Xboxes, guess what happens? Okay. Ain't no more Xboxes because he has to approve the budget.
Hey, Mo, want to pay the bills? Want to pay the bills before you go?
Okay, yeah, I'll pay the bills.
I'm on top. My man, shout out to my man Grace Take. He said he's enjoying the pod. He's in a great panel tonight. He's enjoying the podcast, and it's a few more that Ripper. I mean, the Raven Flow. The PS3 was outselling. I read it. The PS3 was outselling the 360 until the gap closed. My man Celebrity Capo. What is the playbook claim Sony took from Microsoft? Okay, we can answer that one. Microsoft can't beat Sony. Nigga do tell you might be right. Okay. Before you go, you want to answer this? My man here said, "What's the And my man the Ravenflow, goddamn Ravenflow, he said 70% of the 360's base came from the PlayStation 2. Good point. That is a good point.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the deal.
But still, even if it came from the PlayStation, it doesn't matter. Like if it released on the 360. So if it's an exclusive, it's an exclusive. It don't matter where it came from. And the playbook I'm talking about is the third party marketing deals. Microsoft was locking them things down left and right, man, selling bundled consoles. But Sony's killing it now.
That stuff matters. And let's keep it real. The vast majority of the people that are out here buying consoles right now are casuals. They don't hold a flag here. They don't listen to these podcasts. They go wherever they feel is the latest and greatest. And right now, the latest and greatest is the PlayStation ecosystem because their friends got it. And that's where they all play in a Battlefield or Call of Duty, whatever that stuff. So it's nobody's base. Everybody has to fight for them each generation. Okay, so let's just stop that. Secondly, to what Bay was saying, Satya Nadella is the man in charge. But what you got to understand is when he said it wasn't the core, you got to read that. It was a very good Forbes article. I'll send you the link. When he said that the core, that Microsoft's gaming business wasn't the core, is because he thought there was a cap to it. Everybody believed that the cap to gaming, particularly console gaming, was 250 million consumers. Phil showed him that, hey, if we go with this cloud-based thing that you're already about, we can reach 2 billion consumers. That was in that article where they were talking about the cloud gaming that everybody went to. So now that Phil has showed him that the lid is off the potential consumer base, it is considered their core business, regardless of what they're making now. Because just last quarter alone, they made 3.9 billion. So that's nothing to sneeze at. I understand the other divisions are making more money. So I'm just throwing these numbers out there so we know where the future lies. We know where the ship is going. They don't care about the hardcore. They're trying to purge us to get to that other 2.1 billion, period. It's just the way that it is.
And I mean, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you. You know, I went left, you went right, but we arrived at this exact same point. Satya Nadella looked at Windows, because Windows and Office, all those are service-based now. They're subscription-based, right? They're the ones who's actually bringing the money, the revenue to Microsoft right now. And to be honest, Xbox hardware division is costing Microsoft money, not making the money. They're making money from the games, and that's what's keeping the Xbox division relevant to Microsoft.
But that's what every
right?
That's what every company.
Sorry,
go.
Yeah,
no, I was going to say the only console that Microsoft is in the red for is the Xbox One. They're making money on, just like Sony. They're making money off of the S now because it's the cheaper parts, the cheaper labor and contracts and stuff like that. The only console that they're losing money on right now is the Xbox One X.
So it sounds like you guys are cool. Like it's okay for Microsoft to just forget about the hardcore. Y'all
Oh, hell no!
Y'all okay with that? That's exactly.
You see how he wouldn't put words in our mouth like that, Mighty Mouse? He put words in our mouths.
Let me just put it out here. If I'm a weather chaser, that don't mean that I like to get hit in the mouth with lightning and shit and be flown up in the sky. It's just that the weather's coming. You just got to recognize real. This is what they're looking for, man. They're looking to purge us. And the only way to stop, to even get them to stop. Look, let me go back a little bit, and I'm going to shut up for a little bit. When Z was doing the podcast, remember Phil was tweeting and was like, oh, man, I never thought of, what you're saying about the realistic graphics.
Yeah,
and
that's
then everybody was like, oh, man, they're listening. No,
that means they're behind. They're not being proactive. That's what that means.
That was a sarcastic move to Z. Like, the hell with what you want. We dropping State of Decay. That's hardcore enough. We're going to do what we're going to do. CFTs is what we dropping here, baby. You know what I'm saying? That diabetic gaming. And if there's 2.1 billion diabetic gamers out there, that's where they're going.
Hold on. Read the super chat, my man.
Microsoft 3 consoles since Microsoft entered console business. Microsoft hasn't won not one console generation. You got to give Sony credit. That's a lie. They won. Look, they make the most of their money off of software, yo. So Microsoft killed them last gen of software. It don't matter how many. They don't make consoles to make money off the consoles. They make money off the software. Y'all got to stop that. I get where y'all coming from now this gen. But last gen, no. My 361 hands down, period. So,
361 last gen.
The Bang House, I'm sorry, he put Microsoft didn't cut Sony's cut Sony's fan base. Sony's arrogance cut their fan base, but a lot came back in the end because PlayStation is the bigger brand globally. I give you that. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. Well, you read Antcasters? Microsoft released new console system.
Oh, let me see. I read Antcasters.
Okay, I'm sorry. Give it your comment.
And the Ravenflow said PS handed Gen to Microsoft to save Black BL Ray and took it back. I don't know. Can someone? Big up to Ravenflow though.
But we need to circle back around now. Okay, so you said y'all want to keep the hardcore games, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you're saying Microsoft shouldn't mimic what Sony is doing.
Yeah,
the type of games they're putting out.
Yep.
I have a question for you, Noah.
They don't have to mimic what they're doing. What did okay, so these are all second party, but tell me, what game did Sony inspire that was like Mass Effect? What game did Sony inspire that was like BioShock?
But hold on now. Hold on now. Now, the Xbox 360 started off in the lead. And now when Sony started dropping,
and they finished in the lead,
and Last of Us, and these major these one of a kind unique titles. Look, PlayStation still started to rocket at the end of last year. That momentum carried over to this gen.
Sony started.
It did, but they still lost last gen though.
They kill it. They're murdering this gen.
They did a clever strategy, and they hit Europe with a whole bunch of bundle packs, Batman, all that stuff. And
that is correct.
That did mind share in Europe. It was a very smart strategy by Jack Tretton. No one's doubting that. What I'm saying is, and that's because Microsoft did something stupid. Before the buzzer sounded, they celebrated and started jumping on this Kinect stuff. That's completely different from what I'm saying. When I'm saying when Microsoft was on all four cylinders, there were no games out there on Sony that were like the ones Microsoft was inspiring. It was even to the point that you had Adam Sessler, and he's a big time Sony dude. He was sitting there on X Play crying, please, y'all, buy the PlayStation 3. Uncharted 1 is fabulous. Come on. Nobody was paying attention.
Yeah, he was. On X Play, he was doing that. Yeah.
What did Microsoft have to answer these games, man? Like when The Last of Us dropped, when Uncharted 1 dropped, we started getting more Kinect titles.
Yeah, no, you're right. When Last of Us dropped, that's when they started on the Kinect crap. But when the first Uncharted dropped, it was around the time Mass Effect and BioShock dropped. Even Uncharted 2.
I don't think another Mass Effect is going to save Microsoft at this point.
No, he's not. That's not what he's saying, though. You're asking the question of what they need to do to respond, and he's letting you know. But he's just giving an example of games. Come out with another. What was that? BioShock and all. You know, he's not saying that. Right. He's saying games like that will help, though.
Rose, I got a question for your statement.
Yes, sir.
My man, Celebrity Capo. Shout out to you. He said Nintendo did third-party deals on the NES and the Super NES. So how that Microsoft's playbook? Sony did it with the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. Sony took the Call of Duty from Microsoft. I go let you guys want to answer that.
Who will take that?
That's a hit on it.
I'll jump on it. I mean, so if I understand the question right, it was like Nintendo had a successful playbook with third-party games, or
you know what? Let me say this. All right, what we're saying, because I'm from the NES and the Super NES era. I won't say that Nintendo had deals. It's that if you released, they had draconian ways, like because they had the market and they were the console leader. If you released it on another platform first or something, they were real strict. Nintendo had great horrible third-party practices. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what ended up screwing them with the 64 and going forward. They had horrible third-party deals. But we're talking about, like, far as getting exclusive content, time exclusive content, like the NES, and so they weren't doing things like that. Theme consoles. I don't recall any theme. Listen, that's outside of maybe somebody came out in Japan. If I don't recall any, if I am, I stand corrected. You know what I mean? We're talking about things like that. And to be honest, I don't even remember recall any theme PlayStation 1s or PlayStation 2s that maybe they may not release outside of Asia or something for Dragon Quest or something like that. So we're talking about Assassin's Creed bundle with things like that the 360 was doing. With the theme console, the red. I had got a red one for Resident Evil 5. You know what I mean? Feels like that they were doing, and is that with the marketing? When you saw the commercial for those games or the advertising, they was always showing the Xbox version. Now going forward, the big, there's the duties, the Star Wars, Destiny. When they show you the game, it's the PlayStation version. Now, listen, check it out. Right now, everyone here is the hardcore. We know that game was coming out on the platform, but to some people, believe it or not, it may seem that I got to get that Destiny exclusive. I got to get that Star Wars exclusive because they think that it's only releasing on the PlayStation. I said this before too. and I'm not going to get to once you guys talk. I said you had this holiday season. Microsoft released the X, most powerful. It would have did them so good because you think about the Xbox is known as the shooter box, to have one of those big shooters, whether it been Star Wars, Destiny, Duty. If they could have had one of those big shooters to show time, you know, and plus they didn't have any exclusives this holiday season. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you know, but you know, you guys can add from there and take what you were saying.
Let's pay the bills. Okay, because Ravenflow, thank you, Ravenflow, for dropping this one because I want to hop on this one. Ravenflow says, but EA bought BioWare, Mass Effect with multi-platform. Okay, so here's what I want to say to the chat. I love y'all. Like I always say, y'all can come with me, y'all can come at me. I am not disputing this generation. It's a wrap. PlayStation got this shit on lock. It's over. Microsoft is left stumbling and they aren't going on a whole nother direction. But we got to keep it real, people. When timed exclusives like BioShock and Mass Effect went to the PlayStation, at first they didn't even sell well. Even BioShock, like it was like Muggs was sour and sore that BioShock was originally a Microsoft game. It took it forever. It was stuck at 1 million. I remember because I did a review on it. It's stuck at 1 million forever. So that was a big thing. It was advertised so heavily on Microsoft that it was coincided as a Microsoft game to where the Sony consumer really wasn't hopping on it at first. They didn't hop on the BioShock series really until like maybe 2 and Infinite. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff has an impact, just like now with Destiny, with this generation, like Next Gen said. That has a very big impact, those deals that Sony has with Bungie. There were people that I know personally that was going to get Destiny, and I played Destiny 1, that was going to get it for the Xbox, but like, nah, them raids and that stuff, you know what I'm saying, that ain't coming to Xbox till 2 comes out. No, I want to play that, yo. I'm not going to get it on Xbox. That stuff is important. So understand that the mind share, and even if it's a time exclusive, is important this gen, just like it was last gen, and it had an impact even though it was time.
So yeah, okay. Well, nigga, do tell. You also said the Switch is coming for the Xbox One. I want to say this too. Before the Switch, it's selling extremely well. I don't know why, but that's neither here nor there, right? With that being said, though, is the Switch even an 8th generation console because it's Nintendo's 9th generation offering? So it's being real. So the Wii, underpowered as it was, that was Nintendo's 8th generation console. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which was the Ps4. It came out a year before the Ps4 and the Xbox One. You know what I mean? So I can see, even I won't say you can compare whatever you want, but to compare to like maybe the sales of the Ps4 and the Xbox One, because believe it or not, their competition as far as 9th generation consoles may not come out to 2020.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think about 2021.
It's about 2020. You know what I mean? And then probably by then Nintendo probably be releasing more. I don't know how they're going to do with the Switch or after that, but here's the question. Let me ask you guys like this. Maybe you may disagree or just whatever. We can go back and forth about the missteps that Microsoft has had, to me, or continually to still do. Like you said, to me, they haven't been very active. They've always been responsive to whatever Sony does. You know what I mean? Sony cut the price of the PS4 Black Friday that money. Microsoft had waited to Thursday. You know what I mean? To cut theirs. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So going forward, we can go back and forth. Like I said, and to me, as me being a primary Xbox guy to go, these last 2 years, with damn near have been for exclusive content wise, you know what I mean, have been, very lackluster, right? And from what I can say, there was this level of conversation, and basically was saying, you see the title of the show, will Microsoft be able to respond to God of War? When I say respond, I'm not saying they don't have to come up with a God of War clone, but that's a big AAA IP, SpiderMan, Days Gone. This is where I'm going with it, right? And maybe they won't. Like, maybe they can't. You might, get a few little games like Sea of Thieves, service-based game between now and the next 2 years. But if they start the next generation of, in 2021, and they are there again with their big hitters, is forgiven. policies, DRM, Xbox got no game. It's always forgiving if they start. If they got to beat their Sony there toe and toe with their bangers. Do you think all is forgiven?
Yes. But before you start, man, pay the bills.
What do you say?
Ravenflow again. Hey, we gonna have to get this dude his own account. BioShock was a timed exclusive, not a Microsoft game. At Ravenflow, the first BioShock was indeed a Microsoft exclusive. It then went to the PC, and then BioShock 2 went to PlayStation later on, and then they got BioShock 1 as kind of like a filler.
Yep.
So that it actually was a Microsoft game first. And the Bang House, shout out to you, my man, with $5. You guys keep mentioning Mass Effect and BioShock, but you forget majority of the multiplats today were exclusive to PlayStation. Cut it out, LOL. That is true. And like I said, during the 360 days, Microsoft cut Sony in half. Cut everything, hardware and software, peripherals, everything got cut in half. And that includes the exclusives that are no longer exclusives.
You got another that pay the bill.
Yeah, this is another PS2. Oh no. Let me read the contributor. Got to do that. Big ups.
Oh man, here we go.
Hold on. Damn, I just lost it. Okay,
I got you.
Trunks, fuck your bitch. Damn, PS2 had a GTA and a bunch of third-party market deal commercials and time exclusives before the 360 existed. So once again, how was that Microsoft's playbook? Who said it was Microsoft's playbook?
Hold on, no. Hey, let me get this one, dude, because this right here is like my favorite. You got to understand, the PlayStation 2 went uncontested until the 360 came. So there was no marketing deals. All games went to PlayStation first. All of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All of them went there first. Once again, you're talking about 155 million consoles out there. So they got to see the light of day to the point to where they didn't even need to go to Nintendo or to Sega at the time. Later on, Microsoft, they didn't need to do none of that. It was only when the 360 came that you started seeing marketing deals.
Yeah, Microsoft put some of that behemoth money behind the product.
Back to what
you saying though, Microsoft is still going to be behind next gen because people are not just going to forget. And you got to think about it too, man. The next gen systems are going to be backwards and forwards compatible. So a lot of PlayStation users are going to be looking forward to bringing their games with them to the PlayStation 5. So there's not really going to be even if we went to the next generation of console, it's not really going to be a reset. That's why Microsoft needs to focus. They need to make a change now. If they want to compete next gen, it starts now.
Hey yo, I'm sorry. Look, we're measuring success by the wrong litmus now. Microsoft has all the power and all of the resources to make more money than Sony. I think what we need to look forward to are who's going to provide the best content for its fan base. Okay. That should be the question that we ask, not who's going to make more money, because let's look at it right now. Sony is putting out double the output in games, at least. There's no dispute about that, but they're not making double the revenue. Microsoft.
Tell them about the gun line, Mouse. Tell them about the gun line, dog. I'm telling you.
I mean, so I don't want to measure success by sales because it's going to be service-based users, royalties. We heard that talk today. We need to measure success by who has the most satisfied fan base. And the thing that I want everybody to think about in this chat, let's just stop pounding your chest and stop waving your fanboy flags, is that Microsoft right now, for all of its hardcore fan base, they're looking past you. They're looking at a projected 2.1 billion users against multiple platforms, and they're saying, I don't give a shit if y'all don't like Sea of Thieves. It did numbers, and these are the type of games that we're going to focus on. So if you want another Mass Effect or BioShock or whatever, Night of the Old Republic or whatever, if we can't get it to be service-based, forget about it. That's what y'all need to be thinking about.
We got $5 in the chat, my man, back in it. Want to read them, most?
He said, "Stop the BS. They had marketing deals on PlayStation 2, but just because PlayStation 2 had no competition doesn't mean it counts. That fuck out of here. It's not a Microsoft playbook." Damn, man. Oh, damn, babe.
He's strong. He feels strong
Hey.
about the playbook shit.
Different
term than playbook, the strategy.
Then I'm afraid I must thrash him because once again, he cannot go online or anywhere and point to any marketing deal. Period.
Hey,
he can't. He can't point.
Oh, sorry. What happened?
Maslin in the chat asking for a link.
You want a link?
Sorry about that, but yeah,
get out of here. Take your Batman ass out of here.
Feel strongly about that playbook.
Hey, but the playbook don't exist. It does, and once again, hey Noah, this is what I said about PlayStation fans about these fools suffering from schizophrenia, man.
Oh shit!
There's no playbook during the PlayStation 2 era. Never. They never needed one. They're gonna pay somebody to do what?
They damn near had a monopoly, man. It was just
exactly.
The pieces were falling. There was really no competition.
I'll give you an example. Shout out to my man Trump. I'll give you an example. We got to pay the bills too. I believe the game was Assassin's Creed, and if it wasn't, I stand corrected. But that was supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive. Yeah. And Microsoft slid it in. But here's the thing: there were no contract signed, nothing. I guess more or less word of mouth or. And I was reading something like that to the effect, or maybe even a time exclusive. However they were going to do it, Microsoft slipped right in there, boom, showed them how, you know what I mean, cut the check, we're going to market X, Y, and Z. But like I said, as far as marketing deals, I don't recall Sony ever putting any money behind those games, you know what I mean, to keep them off other platforms, more or less, you know what I mean, or time content, like exclusive time DLC. Like I don't think they were doing that back in the 6th generation.
They weren't, because that shit didn't exist.
Exactly. Like when I said that they didn't get exclusives, like PlayStation 2 had exclusives, but they didn't have to pay for their exclusives.
All their games were exclusives.
And this is the thing. Even let's say I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Let's say they was paying for their exclusives, right? They was paying for those exclusives. Those aren't the same type of deals that Microsoft is doing. Like Microsoft is doing the time shit, all the shit that's prevalent right this second. That's all Microsoft.
Exactly.
Hate it or love it. Like literally, that is 90% of why everybody hated Microsoft in the 360 generation. All the PlayStation diehards hated Microsoft because they was money hatting. That didn't happen until it was Microsoft. Period. Like nobody was going back to PS2 talking about, oh, y'all hear money hatting for the Dreamcast and the original Xbox. No, nobody was saying that shit because PlayStation was PlayStation. But then Microsoft started throwing money at their Microsoft money at it, and everybody got on the big Microsoft conglomerate versus little old PlayStation in the corner, even though Sony back in those days was bigger than they are now. And everybody jumped on that train. Microsoft money hatting out here, throwing money at everything so they can just buy it up. And that's how we ended up in a situation we ended up in now. The only difference is as soon as we hit this generation, everything switched. Everything Microsoft was doing, PlayStation started doing it. So now all the PlayStation people became okay with it. And then when the Xbox people started whining about it, like the PlayStation people was doing in the last gen, then it all of a sudden became a switch narrative. Sony was doing it first. Let's keep it real funky. Outside of making CDs, the prevalent gaming media, Sony follows a lot of shit. Sony waits for someone else to make it and make it work, and then Sony does it after the fact and makes it better. I'll give them their credit. They do make it better. But they're not the ones stepping out in the forefront. They're going and letting other people do it, and then they're gonna come with their own device and they're gonna improve upon it for their particular thing.
Your mic breaking up bad. Hold on, let me put somebody's. Hold on, Ant Caster says Z, shout out to him. Z, you created some monsters. This shit is out of control. Hey, listen, man, they out here coming for my head, man. I see my 9 videos about me today. Somebody breaking up by.
Yeah, I think it's bouncing off Xavier.
Hey Zay, how about how back in on Fix Your Mic? Your shit popping. This is like Rice Krispie snack crack on pop.
It's how it sound now.
Oh, you good. You good.
I got a 360 headphone.
Yeah,
Facts.
I'm saying if he thinks they talents, then why did they ask for beefier specs? Well, what do you say? I'm sorry, I don't think anything. But I'm sorry, you were saying more. So you touch all what the guy.
It's still popping, bro.
Yeah, babe, you still popping, bro.
That's in the bottom them.
I would never call that dude. I would never call you bae. I would never ever in your life.
Hey, no, you know what's crazy? Yo, what's crazy?
Oh man.
Hey, yo, that's a popular last name where I'm from, man. The Bays.
Oh yeah.
I thought
I
it was
would never call you bae.
The base is everywhere, man.
It's not a V, it's a V.
Hey, can I just finish off on what Mass just said? What Mass said is very, very important. And a lot of y'all may not, I'm not trying to talk down on y'all, but y'all may not be old enough to understand this. What Mass just like young ass motherfucker. No. What Mass said is very true. Sony's been doing this since the 80s, where they would take shit like radios and they would call it, and then they would just put plastic parts on it and call it my first radio. And then they would bloat the price, and parents would go crazy over the shit. When Sony sees something successful, they put this gloss and this shine on it, and they advertise it well. They've always been advertising geniuses. So again, you can't take credit away from Microsoft. They did technologically do a lot of innovative things that, you know, Sony just boosted and advertised better this gen. But I won't say that Sony didn't do anything. One thing that they did do under Jack Tretton, I said, which was very important, was they did the free games with the paid subscription service. That was a big thing.
But that was a reaction.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like what? 100%. I agree that that was a Sony thing, but that was a reaction more than an action. That was, oh damn, we messed up.
Yeah,
we're gonna give y'all free stuff so y'all forget that we messed up.
Yeah, PSN was down.
And the only thing is that it caught on. So as soon as it caught on, they just ran with it.
And another thing, Microsoft got everything behind a paywall, and
right, exactly. And that's the other thing. Like I said, it's all about seeing what people are okay with and then switching their narrative in order to ensure that they're on the right side of it. Sony been doing this for years. Sony is Sony. They were successful in the 80s for doing it. They are successful now for doing it. But all that portion in the middle, like during the whole PS3 era, where they was trying to innovate and make up and say, we're Sony, follow us. And everybody was like, get the hell out of here. And then they lost their shirt and started becoming junk stock. Like that happened. I don't know why y'all keep like under some auspices that Sony been business geniuses for a minute. No.
Yeah, they
did exactly what
struggling.
They was putting lipstick on everything, but they was marketing it like it was the best thing since sliced bread, and they was charging a premium. Then Samsung and all these other small companies come out here and start giving you cheaper stuff that does equal or better. And Sony never, drew back because they still was like, we Sony.
Sony had outpriced themselves.
Right. I don't think a lot of people remember this either. Like the 360
cell processor.
That Fight Night.
We do.
Remember Fight Night Round 3 when that came out?
Yes, sir.
The game was looked way better on the 360 than it did on the PlayStation 3.
It was easy.
And it ran better.
Pull up.
Like I said, the cell processor, they literally came out with the cell processor and said, we are the top of this thing. They coming off the high of the PS2. We are the best at this. So everybody is going to gravitate towards us because we are the best at this. We're Sony. So this is what we decided to do as Sony. Everybody do what we say. The whole industry was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not paying you to make the stuff I want to make for myself. I'm just going to do it for whatever else is out here. That's how the 360 grabbed up that market share. And then Microsoft went around with a bag of cash and was like making it rain on people. Here you go. Take this. Put it on us. Here you go. Take this. Put it on us. Hey, the other people, they trying to make you do what they want. Take this. Put it on us. But then Microsoft did the same shit. they got in their own head and they got in front of themselves and started making everything so closed environment, because that's how they were doing on PC, that they locked everything down on Xbox. The only difference was Xbox 360 had the ease and it allowed everybody to do what they wanted. They weren't conforming to Sony, and so that's how that worked. So as Sony started to turn that corner and they started to make things easier, then people started, okay, well, I'm gonna make things for Sony. But Sony stepped up their own game in order to make sure that they put out the games that people were asking for from them.
So,
and that's how they counteracted.
So, Master, okay.
I want to say, my man, shout out to my man El Chapo Lives, right? Taking shots. He says, how can next gen not expect the backlash? Fuck nigga. All he did was bash the Xbox every time I heard this nigga. What were you doing with an Xbox in the first place? Jesus.
Take him out of every Xbox, what they say, every Xbox gamer chat.
Yeah, they on me, right? But I want to say, I didn't know, again, of someone being critical of something that they paid for. You know what I mean? Or that's not meeting my needs. You know what I mean? And if you're happy with Zoo Tycoon and, you know, Disney version, so be it. Fuck nigga. Enjoy.
Come on, Z. Stop saying that, man. Stop saying Zoo Tycoon like Microsoft.
Yeah, man, you know, Vega passed, man. You can't be.
That's all we got in the last 17 months, 18 months was
that's not true.
Hashtag
we got thieves.
I'm paid the bills real quick. Shout out to Ravenflow said Nini brought Sony to gaming because they're tech leader. And then Jason H $5 said huge market issues, always on Connect, #1 feature at launch, gimmicks, PS4 sat back and focused on gamers, creating huge hardware gap, $100 more than the PS4. No, Nintendo and the Ravenflow again was said Samsung is the new Sony. Not really. They still price themselves accordingly, but it's just the market is more flooded now. But to the whole PS4 sat back, no, PlayStation didn't sit back. That was exactly what won them this generation, is that they didn't sit back. Before, they sat back and waited till everything happened. This time they went on attack mode. They were like, oh shit, everybody hates Microsoft. Do the opposite.
Yep. Absolutely.
Y'all put a camera in the box. Let's take our camera out the box.
Yep.
That was happening. Let's take our camera out the box. Everybody hates the camera. The whole NSA loading shit, all that was popping right then. They made the quick ass move. Let's take this out the box. Don't have to worry about it now. We can drop it $100 because we taking this out the box. But then they were like, oh, people can't share games. Let's make this little 30-second YouTube video with the 2 highest level people that says this is how you share games. Shot. Like they went on attack mode, which was a fantastic business move by Sony.
Absolutely
fantastic. It's absolutely what won in this generation. The price and doing everything that everyone hated about Microsoft and doing the opposite.
So, Master, you think Microsoft gonna come with it this E3?
They ain't got no choice, but it's theirs to lose. Like, even no matter what happens, if Sony come out and say, here's a PlayStation 4 and you can wipe your ass with it, people gonna buy PlayStation 4 because the games that they have been promising this whole generation, they're coming out now. So people are gonna buy PlayStation 4s regardless. Nintendo, being Nintendo, they're gonna come out, tease Metroid, because Nintendo sells off of nostalgia and their iconic nature. So they're gonna come out and say Smash Brothers, Metroid, they're gonna sell. Nintendo is Nintendo. Like, their handhelds always sell, and this system is a handheld. No matter what anyone ever wants to say about it being a hybrid or any of that bullshit, it's a handheld. And their handhelds always sell because that's Nintendo. So them getting the games that people have been asking for and providing the handheld nature of it, they're gonna sell. Xbox has to come out and sell the world. Like, they have to come out and say, we have everything you've ever wanted in an Xbox, and we have all these games coming for the most powerful system, in the next year and a half. Like and it has to happen in the next year and a half, because as soon as PlayStation 5 is announced, all the Xbox One X is the strongest goes away. Like all that immediately they lose that momentum the second the PS5 is announced. Even if they don't tell you what's in the box, even if they just show a sizzle reel of a shadow of a PlayStation 5 and put it across the damn screen, as soon as that shit pops up, Microsoft loses their little power narrative, which is already dumb as fuck, but it is what it is. In order to push that, they need to come out and say, we have all these games that are coming out in this next 18 months that you can buy on the most powerful system, and they look great. Not look like, you can play them on the Xbox One normal and it'll be fine. They have to look like, if I put this in the Xbox One X, it's going to prove that the Xbox One X is the Xbox One X. They have to do that, otherwise they're just going to take the L and limp into the next generation.
So I think a good question for the panel, and then I'll answer last, is what is success for Microsoft? I'm taking over the show. What is success? What do we consider success for Microsoft to be? Like, how do we consider them coming out of this E3 and be like, woo, okay, we did it?
You know what? I'm gonna answer that question simple. And again, all this, like I said, is subjective, because I got people telling me right now that I need to watch a pirate documentary. To me, what I would gauge it as a success is they're delivering some new AAA IPs, that interest me, that I want to play. At the end of the day, it's never been about sales or none of that shit goes in my pocket. I don't have any stock. I don't have any stock in Microsoft. Now, like I said, that what I would consider a success. They came out there, they delivered something new outside of Gears, Force, and Halo. You understand what I'm saying? That interests me. Absolutely, something new, AAA banger to get excited about. Here you go. Okay. What about you, Mass?
They just need to show that the Xbox is a platform worth investing in if you are a console guy. To me, it ain't gonna mean shit. You're not looking for a specific genre. Nah. They just need to focus on highlighting the genres. It ain't gonna matter, because the Xbox, they lost their bro shooter box. They lost that narrative, and it needs to be like ultra hardcore in order to counter the Disneyland narrative. But that's about it. The genre is irrelevant as long as it's hardcore as humanly possible, and it looks hardcore as humanly possible.
What about you, Noah?
Man, I would like to see Microsoft bring out the mixed reality headset, or announce, the mixed reality headsets being compatible with the Xbox. Yeah, that would be a hit for me. And man, we just we need that AAA title, like that story driven cinematic game. We need that.
What about you, Xavier?
Two things, man. Number one, and this isn't just because I'm a fanboy. I'm actually not a fanboy. I'm a Microsoft enthusiast. I think that number one, Halo 6, and I honestly, say what you will of me about Master Chief, Halo in general, it's like that crack shot that makes all the pain go away. You know what I'm saying? Because when Microsoft, the only time Microsoft has really ever seen any good news is when they've shown years. I think that they do need to, honestly, and part two, I'm gonna lean. I'm gonna go a little schizophrenic.
We need new IPs though, man. We need brand new.
And that's what I was going to say.
And ideas. Like, we know Halo's coming. We know Forza's coming. Man, those are givens. Like, we need a roadmap. We need teaser trailers of things, worlds, and gameplay we've never seen before. Like right here, man. Like think about it. As on your Xbox, what title in 2019 and beyond are you excited to play?
None.
Yeah, see. And hold up, my man, the Ravenflow back at this shit again. Shout out to Raven. He says success with Microsoft and subscriptions to all 4 platforms. Hey man, you know, man. Like I don't know, man. But yeah, man, I can maybe you can understand like this more. Like I said, we can close the show with this, right? And I'm gonna say this again: each generation, to me, and you know, for a platform to be successful, to keep growing, right? You have to keep evolving in creating. They need a new AAA game. Like, you know what I mean? The first Xbox, you had Halo. Second box, you had Gears. We have yet to get that yet in the 360. I'm sorry, in the Xbox One, in the 8th generation. With Sony delivered with Horizon Zero Dawn, whether you like it or not, subjective, but a huge said 8 million sold. Something new. Nintendo delivered with maybe Splatoon or whatever. I don't know. Something new and a breath of fresh air for those guys. We have yet to get that. You know what I mean? And I understand. I know that Halo's going to come out. Halo's going to do Halo. Forza is going to do Forza, and Gears is going to do Gears. But we need something outside of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
give me a Tenchu Z.
Hold on. So
part a Tenchu Z and a Ninja Blade, I'll be happy.
Somebody in the chat, we was talking about 2019 roadmap, right? And somebody in the chat was like, 2019, I don't look that far ahead.
What?
He's talking about for Xbox and PlayStation, I guess. If you're on PlayStation, 100% you're looking at 2019 and 2020. Because the only shit you know coming out this year is God of War.
Yeah.
Everything else doesn't have a release date.
SpiderMan, Detroit,
Spider-Man, right in Detroit, Detroit. My bad. But SpiderMan, that looks like it's gonna come out. I hope that it comes out. Like the Insomniac says it's gonna come out, but Ghost of Tsushima, that shit ain't out this year. Last of Us 2, that shit ain't out this year. Death Stranding damn sure ain't out this year.
I'm gonna put it like this: Final Fantasy
all that shit is 2019.
Remake got announced 2005.
Yep.
Oh, that shit ain't coming out for it. Right, that shit ain't coming out.
2018, man.
Shenmue ain't coming out.
And Last of Us 2 is 2020.
Right, all of them is 2019, 2020. Like the problem, but the difference, and I say this shit all the time, which is hilarious to me that all these y'all motherfuckers don't listen. Say shit all the time. The difference is that all those games that I just named, you know they exist. On the Microsoft side, you don't know they fucking exist.
We don't know shit.
Microsoft needs to fix that shit real quick.
Well, technically, technically, those games that you just stated, they don't exist because they're to come. What? And we've seen in the past that but that's the problem. They're not there.
This is the thing, though.
They are not there. That's just
this is the problem that people keep
a name on something.
Would you say about Crackdown?
Ghost of Tsushima was a fucking CGI trailer, right? That shit looked like Neo and all that other shit, right? So does it exist? But the difference is if we start talking about games that people are excited for, you know what's on that list? Ghost of Tsushima. Because
that may not come out.
Why would
it may not come out?
They're talking about it as a PS5 game.
It don't matter. People are talking about it.
It's the anticipation, bro.
Right.
Like they're anticipated for these games.
You see the roadmap.
These games might not ever, bro. You're sold on the idea that these are the titles that are coming
in the future.
They may not. They could get canceled tomorrow, but there are people out there buying these consoles today because they're anticipating these titles. When you look at Xbox,
it didn't work for Xbox because look at Scalebound. Scalebound was supposed to come out and all this other stuff.
It didn't work. There's plenty of people that bought an Xbox anticipating Spellbound.
No, they did. But we also know that after the news, hold on a second. After the news of it,
what has been announced? What roadmap have we received since Scalebound has been canceled? We don't know what's coming after Crackdown. We don't know.
Sony cancels stuff all the time, and when they cancel stuff, they got like a slew of other games that they can basically say, look here, look there, look here.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though. That's all smoke and mirrors, bro.
Hold on. Also, I just want to address something.
Sell me smoking mirrors.
Another dude in the chat said Microsoft don't have any iconic franchises. They don't have any characters to care about. Here, this is the thing. Microsoft has plenty of iconic franchises. The problem, I think they're all trash. Just to keep this funky, like they're all mediocre ass games to me. Halo, Gears, they're all mediocre to me, but they're iconic. Like if you show a picture of Master Chief or Marcus Phoenix to a random motherfucker on the street, they'll know that shit before they recognize the main character in Detroit or Days Gone or any of the shit that's coming out. Like,
Facts.
that's just the reality situation. If you show Joel and Ellie on a poster next to Master Chief, more people will recognize Master Chief than they will Joel and Ellie. And that's even people that don't play video games.
Yeah.
Like, Halo has a following of people who just read the fucking books. Like, niggas have never played the game, just read the books. They have book clubs on Halo, which is lame as fuck, but that shit exists.
Nah, bro, that story banging than a motherfucker though.
That shit is lame. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. That shit is lame. But they
sorry, it is not
subjective.
You can't be a true sci-fi.
Halo
and not like Halo.
But the thing of the matter, man,
hold on. What's a good character to you then, Masterly? And it better be good too.
Geralt.
Who?
Witcher. Geralt from The Witcher. That's a good character.
Dude, go in the corner and slap yourself twice.
That's a good character.
And don't come out.
Hey, yo,
No, he's not.
I'm with Mass on that one.
Thank you. Kratos is a good character, bro. Not what do you say his name was? Geralt?
Yeah, Geralt from
Geralt.
That's a good ass character.
Yeah, but
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah,
get out of here, bro. Get out of here,
so
bro. You look like a white
that they're
supremacist.
basing the Netflix series off of the whole Witcher.
That's a good ass character.
Come on, yeah.
Okay, Halo has 5 movies, 34 books, like 17 comics, 12 motion comics. Like, come on, man. No, get out of here. Get out of here, Geralt.
And that shit
Geralt?
is still mediocre.
Get out of here, dude.
The game is mediocre as fuck. Period. I've played every single one.
And Witcher is boring as all hell.
Check my live account. I've played every single one of these motherfuckers. The game is still mediocre as fuck. Just the reality.
I'm sorry, but Witcher 3 is mediocre as fuck.
Cut his mic off.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me pay the bills.
Fucking Geralt. Geralt, nigga.
All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hey, King B, you should have gotten your PS4 Pro by now, nigga. And send me $15, King B. It was $30 to send that shit to your ass, nigga. I'm on your ass, nigga. Send me $15 on PayPal. That was $30 to send that shit to goddamn Chicago. That fucking PS4. My man, what's my man name? Raven Flow. He said Sony devs are top 20. Their games are coming. They developers are Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog. Who else they got?
They got a Sucker
20?
Punch.
That's top 20 or in general?
Yeah. No, that's top 20.
Well,
Sucker Punch. I don't put Sucker Punch. I don't put Gorilla up there either.
Yeah, I'll give
Why not? Santa Monica.
Put Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog. I put them in the top 20.
I'm like Mass. I put most of my stock in the multi-plat developers. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the best developers to me. But it is what it is. But there's more people that like the first party games that are hardcore gamers than not. So I understand that.
And I don't give a fuck about none of their opinion.
Yeah,
none of them niggas are playing the game. None of them niggas are playing the game for me. Anytime you use a Metacritic score as your reason for whether or not something is better, kill yourself. Run in the traffic, fucking blind.
Man, Mason, be quiet, man. You benchmark your games before you play it, man. Get out of here.
I do benchmark my games. That is a true statement.
Fucking
that is
100%
true statement. I do benchmark my games just because I know that I'm playing them better than these trash ass consoles.
But it don't do you any good though, because you're the only one that know it.
I'm the only one need to know it. I'm the only one that need to know it. I'm playing the fucking
Keep it to yourself. You still sitting in that corner? Get your ass back in that corner.
Master, quickly remind you that you're playing the game at 30 frames per second.
Real quick, you know me. I have no problems calling that shit out.
Again, like I said, this was like a spur of the moment show. I didn't expect to be this long, but thank you all for rocking out with me through the night. And spur of the moment. I'm always out here working, man. Thank you for swinging by. And healthy conversation. How will Microsoft respond? Or can they respond to God of War, SpiderMan, and more? You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. And we out of here, man.
Thanks.
Thanks.